Hi Hive, Hillary here, coming to you live from my house, which is where so many of us are these days. We have recently had a lot of new members. Welcome everybody. We are so delighted to have you here. And so we thought it might be great to do a little what is the Hive video, how was it created, and where we hope it's going, and how you can help, and what we hope you'll let us know you might need. So let me start a little bit with some history. My name is Hillary Raining. I'm a yoga teacher, a beekeeper, an Episcopal priest, a mom, a wife, an author. Like many of you, I wear many different hats in my life and have a spirituality that needs to support all of that. One part of my spirituality is a meditation practice. And there was a time a few years ago where I was in deep meditation following a season of learning things that I was already interested in and going deeper in, but also learning things I had never really been interested in before, including online businesses and business practices, and finding out more about like the wellness community, and watching numbers on things like Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop and being kind of like, well, what is this? Not really planning on doing anything with that until one day I was in this meditative state and the heavens kind of opened up, and what came down was very much akin to this story in the Bible that follows the disciple Peter right after Jesus's death and ascension into heaven. So Peter is leading this group of people whose lives have been turned upside down. They have no idea what this new way of living is going to be. They did not have something called Christianity. They had been good and faithful Jewish men and women who are now no longer a part of that faith. They could no longer stay in the synagogue, and they weren't sure what their faith was now. And in that moment, Peter was also in a trance, and the heavens opened up and something came down. He describes it like a sail. On it were all these things that had been told to him before were ritually unclean, especially things like shellfish and things he wasn't allowed to eat. And God told him, eat. And he said, no, I never do that. And God said a couple times, no, eat. And eventually he said to Peter, do not call unclean that which I have called clean. It's this huge moment in the life of the church where we are looking for clarity, and God gives us a charge to go, do something new, see that which is exciting and Holy Spirit driven. And yet at the same time hold this deep wealth of spirituality and wisdom. Peter did that and changed the world. This vision I had was similar in nature in that something came down from heaven. It was a hive, in fact, a honeycomb. As I mentioned, I'm a beekeeper, so I knew it when I saw it. On this honeycomb were all these different areas where people in the hive would work. Now, in particular, for you who may not know, a beehive is mostly women, and over the span of a bee's life, she will hold every job in the hive, even like from right the moment she is born, she starts working on the nursery. The only job she won't have is the queen. So the church has actually used this model of beehive as the model of church for ages. That we are all here in this community together. We go out, we help pollinate the world, we bring wisdom back in, and we support one another in our service of the Queen, God. Not only did I wake up from this energized and amazed, I realized it was a clarion call to help people who are on a spiritual journey find support and offer their own wisdom. We are in a time right now of reformation, especially in the Christian community. Every 500 years, the Christian community goes through a huge, what we call reformations. And each time has helped the church reform and bring more wisdom of the Spirit to the world. We're actually several years into that. We're past the 500-year mark several years ago. And that means we're in the middle of something. We're watching that happen in real time right now with COVID-19, where the church has had to say, how are we going to be a spiritual community? Now, the hive is not a place for just one type of spirituality. people who are not sure they believe in anything to people who have a very definite type of belief are all welcome here. It's imagined to be a progressive conversation, one where you can hone your wisdom. In fact, during these times of Reformation, wisdom schools tend to pop up. And so we are considering this sort of wisdom school where you can grow in wellness and your spirituality and have a community to support that. In order to do this, we have community guidelines, which are posted on our webpage as well as our Facebook page. But in particular, I thought it would be great to highlight the fact that we look for diversity. In fact, we have many members right now who are certainly not just Episcopalian, which I am, certainly not just Christian, who are from all different walks of faith. And it's not just religious diversity we're hoping for as well. We're looking for a plurality of socioeconomic backgrounds. We're looking for people who are on different places of the sexuality spectrum. And we're looking for racial diversity as well. We don't want this to just be white space. We are, in fact, on our leadership team striving for complete diversity. We have a goal for ourselves to have a makeup of at least half of our leadership board being women of color. We have several members who are bisexual or lesbian and are somewhere on the sexuality spectrum of not even having it defined for themselves, which I think is such a key for this moment to be open and welcoming. We're also looking to develop a lot of resources that will help you in your deep wisdom path. So I wanted to highlight a few of those that are coming up soon, but we're asking you also, what do you need and what can you offer? One thing that we'll be offering very shortly, in the next month or so, I'm going to try to be developing a class to look at how we pray in our daily life, including for women, in particular around our menstrual cycles. We are embodied people. It's one of the cornerstones of my religion, of Christianity, that we believe in the incarnation. We believe in embodied faith. And for women, so much of our prayer style and our rhythm of life has been ignored by the church, which is, again, ironic since it's such an embodied faith. And so to look at that will be, I think, a fascinating study. But it's not just limited to women of a certain age. We'll be talking about menopausal ways of following the cycle. If you're a trans woman, you're invited as well. And we'll be speaking to all these issues. And if you're a man and you want to learn more about encouraging the feminine side of spirituality, the divinely feminine side, I encourage you to look for that class as well and join in. We're also going to be offering an iconography class. One of our artists in residence will be a wonderful iconographer who will help us dive into the spirituality of writing icons and using art as prayer. Those are two offerings. We always have a book club going. We always have different meditations being offered. We have a podcast. We have classes. There's so much here on the Hive already, and we're really committed in this time when people are changing the way they're doing faith to bringing you more. Finally, though, I wanted to also mention to you some ways that you can right now help the community here and in your own life. Let me bring up my little note here. Pardon me. As a spiritual body, we may be socially isolated, but we're not spiritually isolated. We're not communally isolated. So really in this time, make sure you're supporting your spiritual and mental health. Again, check out our website for resources, but reach out for each other. Make sure you're doing something physical every day. Try to keep a rhythm of life. Get up at your normal time. Go to bed at your normal time. Be eating fruits and vegetables. I know this sounds silly and small, but if we don't have somebody encouraging us, we can easily fall into patterns that aren't supporting ourselves. I highly recommend as well at this time to find some place in your life, in your space, that you can claim for a prayer corner. I'm blessed. I have a room here that I get to use, but Where can you find some sacred space that you can claim? It could be just like a chair. It could be a pillow in a corner with a candle, something that you can claim as your own space. During this time, that's a huge thing you can do for yourself. Practice charity. In our community right now, we're collecting food and hygienic supplies for those in need. Certainly people around you are doing the same, and it's a great way to do that. Some places even have Amazon wish lists that you can just buy and not even leave your house. A helpful thing in this time. And remember, all those in your community, small business owners, working families, independent contractors, those who are in need of your support right now. But most importantly, use this as a chance to think about how we might organize for a better future, to spread hope and peace. When we look back on this pivotal time, let us be proud of the spiritual witness that we gave, of the way we helped, the way that we even use social isolation as a tool to help those in need. This is a chance that we can really, really look back and say we helped change this moment to being one of fight and flight and fear, to calmness, to peace, and to positivity where peace will reign. Finally, we could also use your support. This is a time of great economic uncertainty, and we realize that for so many people. If you are in a stable enough economic place that you can help support the Hive, we do have a Patreon membership. The Hive right now is mostly run by grants, which is great, but they're not unlimited. And we have a series of master classes available for purchase. And right now in particular, the yoga master class is half off. And we'll be doing something similar with the beekeeping one soon. Beekeeping as a spiritual practice. But we also have a short yoga video for purchase. We also have free yoga videos. But we are hopeful that maybe you might be able to join Patreon and whatever membership level would work for you. All that information is on thehiveapiary.com, www.thehiveapiary.com. The great thing about that is you will also get, as a gift to you, a class written by the amazing Whitney Rice, and it is about radicals, spiritual radicals. It's a great thing to have at your house right now if you're looking for something to learn. And we'll be offering more gifts as we go. So we do hope that you'll be able to help in that regard. But let us know what you need. Let us know what wisdom you have to offer too. We are always looking for content and curating some really good stuff all the time. Thanks for this time. I appreciate you listening to this. Again, my name is Hillary Raining, and I am so delighted to be on this journey with you and in this little wisdom school that we're in. Be well, my Hive friends, and know that I am praying with you in these times. God bless.